was a calm day. Not stormy, not rough. The wind was light. Seas were manageable. The kind of conditions where you'd actually want to be out there on the water. A Lagoon, 380, beautiful boat, wide deck, tons of space. Everything about it screamed stability and luxury. And it flipped anyway. The crew made it out. Barely. This wasn't a freak storm. This wasn't some rookie mistake. The guys sailing it had years of experience on that exact boat. So, what happened? Why did it flip? Because if it wasn't the weather and it wasn't the sailor, that has to mean it was the boat, right? And if it was the boat, that means it can happen to you and me. Stick with me. Because what I'm about to show you is something most sailing channels will never say out loud. Here's what everyone gets told about catamarans. They're stable. They don't heel. They have a wide beam, 2 hulls instead of 1. So they sit flat on the water and feel rock solid. And here's the thing. That's all true. Every bit of it. When you're at a dock, a catamaran feels like a floating apartment. You can walk around, cook a meal, sleep without rolling off the bed. Compared to a monohull that heels 20 degrees just sitting in a marina, a catamaran feels safe. It feels comfortable. It feels like home. But that feeling is exactly what makes them dangerous for beginners. See, on a monohull, if you put too much sail up, if the wind gets stronger than you expected, the boat heels hard. It's uncomfortable. It's alarming. And your body immediately tells you, reduce sail. Something's wrong. The boat tells you that. The catamaran does not. Because on a monohull, the heel is like a warning system. On a catamaran, you don't get that warning. The boat stays flat. It feels completely normal. Right up until it doesn't. The physics term for this is initial stability versus ultimate stability. Catamarans have incredible initial stability. They resist heeling, but they have almost no ultimate stability. Once they go past a certain point, there's nothing to bring them back up. A monohull, by design, wants to right itself. That's what the ballast keel is for. You can knock a monohull down to 90 degrees and it will come right back up. A catamaran that goes over stays over. And here's the part that should actually scare you as a beginner. Because it's not just about capsize. That's the extreme end. The thing I want you to understand is why it happens. What decision leads to that moment? And how a beginner is almost perfectly set up to make that exact same mistake without even knowing it. Here's how it plays out. You get on a catamaran for the first time. It feels amazing, steady, spacious. You're not white-knuckling a heel angle like you would be on a monohull. Everything feels in your control. Everything feels good. So you get comfortable, faster. You push the conditions a little more. You leave the dock in weather you might not have left in on a different boat. Because this boat feels solid. It feels safe. And the boat doesn't argue with you. It doesn't heel. It doesn't give you that physical feedback that says, hey, back off a little bit. What it does instead is load up in visibility. The forces on the rig are building. The windward hull is starting to lift. And from where you're standing in that big flat cockpit, everything still looks completely fine. Until it's not. This is what happened to that Lagoon 380. The sailor wasn't being reckless by his own read of the situation. The boat has told him nothing was wrong. And the boat was lying. Or wasn't telling the whole truth. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying catamarans are death traps. There are experienced blue water sailors who cross oceans on cats and do it beautifully. This isn't a blanket comment. What I am saying is this. The characteristics that make a catamaran feel safe for a beginner are the exact same characteristics that remove the warning signs a beginner needs. And a monohull has, such as heel. So what is the specific thing you guys need to watch for? It comes down to one design factor that most beginners never look at. Beam to length ratio and sail area relative to displacement. Let's break that down a little bit. Wide cats, the resort style ones, the lagoons, the leopards, the ones that look the most impressive, have the highest beam to length ratios. They feel the most stable, and they have the least amount of forgiveness when conditions push them past their limits. The narrower, older performance cats, the ones that actually do heel a little, those are more honest boats. They give you feedback. They're also less popular because they don't feel like floating condos. But here's the real number to know. If the boat you're looking for has more than 45 square feet of sail area per 1,000 pounds of displacement and a beam to length ratio over 50%, you are sailing a boat with a very narrow margin for error. And as a beginner, your margin for error should be very wide. So what should you actually look for on a catamaran? I'll tell you, but not today, because that answer leads directly into a conversation about what hull type actually gives a beginner the right feedback, the right safety margin, and the right forgiveness when you inevitably make a mistake. I have a pretty strong opinion on what that boat looks like, but we'll save that for next week, because next week I'm pulling the actual numbers: purchase price, maintenance costs, haul out costs, year 1 versus year 2 costs for both hull types, side by side, monohull versus catamaran. The results surprised me. They'll probably surprise you. If you're in the middle of this decision right now, or you just want to make sure you didn't end up on the wrong side of it, subscribe, because this is where that conversation really starts. Peace, subscribe. I'll see you guys out on the water.